The ground shudders, not with the familiar tread of the herd beasts, but with the focused, hungry rhythm of pursuit. Kale presses his body flat against the damp earth behind a curtain of giant ferns, the scent of rotten reptile filling his nostrils. Below, in the compressed space of the gully, the bone snappers move with a terrible purpose. There are 3 of them, a pack of Giganotosaurus, their massive skulls swinging low, sniffing the air, tasting the clan's fear on the wind. Their hides are scarred maps of ancient battles, their teeth the size of daggers, stained brown with old blood. This is no random encounter. This is a culling. For 3 days, the pack has herded the SkyLedge Clan, cutting them off from the high caves, driving them down into the suffocating, humid lowland. The world of these early humans has shrunk to a desperate corridor between predator and impassable river. A child's whimper is silenced by a mother's hand. The clan, no more than 40 souls, is trapped. Elora, the old mother whose eyes have seen 70 seasons of migrations, crawls to Kale's side. Her face is a mask of weary resolve. She does not look at the predators. Her gaze is fixed beyond them, on the impossible thing that moves through the far trees. Its passage is slow minus-motion earthquake. It is the Great Father, the living mountain, one of the colossal Argentinosaurus that wanders the spine of the continent. It is a force of nature, a creature so vast it is its own ecosystem, a part of the landscape that simply happens to be alive. Usually, the clan gives its path a widened, respectful berth, but today, there is no berth to give. Elia points a trembling, dirt-caked finger. The earth moves. She whispers, a statement of both fact and prophecy. The ground offers only teeth. We climb? It is a mad thought, born of absolute despair, a choice between the certain death below and the death of 1,000 other possibilities above. But, as the lead Giganotosaurus lets out a ground-shaking roar that echoes in their very bones, the choice is made. Kale gives the signal, a sharp, bird-like whistle. The clan move, not as a panicked mob, but as a single organism flowing from the shadows. They sprint from the cover of the ferns, a disparate, scrambling wave of humanity aimed at the Titan's flank. The bone snappers surge forward, their jaws snapping like falling trees. The clan has only moments. They reach the Great Father's leg, a pillar of flesh and scale wider than their oldest meeting tree. Its skin is a vertical landscape of cracked, leathery hide and thick, vine-like tendons. The ascent begins. It is a frantic, brutal climb, hands and feet finding purchase on hanging creepers and bony osteodermis jutting from the skin. A young hunter named Terrestrial loses his grip, his scream a brief, sharp note in the cacophony before he is gone, a smear of raid against the grey earth. There is no time to mourn. There is only up. The enraged dinosaurs below leap and snap, their teeth scraping against the unfeeling hide, meters short of the highest climbers. From this new perspective, the apex predators of their world are reduced to furious, impotent monsters, their reign ending at the Titan's ankle. They are witnessing the dawn of a new era in hominid history, a vertical migration to escape the horrors of the horizontal world. They claw their way onto the great plateau of the beast's back, a landscape of rolling muscle under a thick, wrinkled integument. The air here is different, thinner, humming with the colossal, slow rhythm of the creature's breath. Below, the world they knew has become a map. The river a silver ribbon, the forest a dark green pelt. The roars of the Giganotosaurus are faint, frustrated sounds, swallowed by the immense scale of this living mountain. For the first time in days, the SkyLedge Clan can breathe, but safety is an illusion, merely a trade of one set of dangers for another. The ground beneath their feet is alive. It shifts, it trembles, it radiates a deep, organic warmth. This is not land, it is flesh. Their new world is governed by a new set of laws, the laws of the living mountain they call Great Father. Days turn into a cycle of bewildered adaptation. Iloru, the old mother, becomes the clan's first true scientist. a student of this gargantuan ecosystem. She leads small parties across the flesh hills and scale valleys, charting the new territory. They discover that the deep fissures in the creature's hide are not barren rock but fertile ground, hosting entire forests of thick-stemmed ferns and strange, pulpy fungi that thrive on the titan's shed skin. These become their new food source. Water is a constant challenge. Pools of rainwater connect in the hollows of the sauropod's great osteoderms, but their most reliable source are the salt streams, rivulets of sweat that carve paths through the leathery landscape. The clan's children learn to lick the sweat-crusted scales for vital minerals, a strange and necessary communion with their host. This is the beginning of a true symbiosis, a relationship where the survival of the small depends entirely on the health of the large. The prehistoric life on Great Father's back is as alien as the terrain. They are not alone. Swarms of bird-sized parasites with needle-sharp proboscis descend at dusk, forcing the clan to take shelter in the deeper crevices of the hide. The clan's hunters, masters of spear and ambush, must learn entirely new survival skills. Kale designs long, barbed poles, not for killing, but for prying loose the parasites and scraping away patches of dead skin, which they discover the great beast cannot reach. In one of their first acts of intentional aid, they clear a festering patch near the creature's neck ridge. That night, the great beast emits a low, rumbling groan, a sound not of pain, but of something akin to relief. The clan listens in awed silence. They are no longer mere stowaways. They are becoming tenders, keepers of the mountain. They are learning that to protect their world, they must first serve it. Their very concept of community expands to include the colossal being that carries them, a foundation stone for their future. As they travel, Cade and his hunters stand watch on the high ridges of the spine, becoming the eyes for their brine, marking God, spotting fresh feeding grounds and distant threats long before the Great Father could sense them. Peace becomes a routine, and routine becomes a way of life. For 2 full cycles of the moon, the SkyLedge Clan thrives. The children have forgotten the taste of fear. Their playground the vast, shifting expanse of Great Father's back. The hunters, led by Kale, have perfected their role as lookouts and tenders, their existence a testament to the improbable heights early humans could reach. They have become masters of their mobile island, a self-contained culture sailing an ocean of prehistoric jungle. But the serpent never forgets. The memory of the hunter is long, and its hunger is patient. One afternoon, as the sun beats down on the Titan's hide, a tremor runs through their world. Not the familiar, rhythmic sway of walking, but a violent, shuddering lurch of agony. A chorus of shrieks rises from the clan as they cling to the fern's tops and hide crevices. Kale scrambles to the edge, the great cliff of the sauropod's flank. Below, the nightmare has returned. The bone snappers, the same pack of Giganotosaurus, have caught them. Their pursuit was relentless, an obsession carved into their predatory brains. No, they launch their assault. It is a siege. They are not trying to reach the clan. They are trying to fill the mountain. The Alpha tears a slab of flesh the size of a man from Great Father's thigh. The colossal creature bellows, a sound of pure misery that vibrates through the clan's skeletons. Their living world is being eaten alive from beneath them. Panic gives way to a cold, hard certainty. Alara's voice cuts through the chaos, raw and powerful. We do not run from the mountain. We fight for the mountain. It is a declaration that changes everything. They are no longer refugees. They are defenders. This is their home. Kale rallies the hunters, their minds racing. Spears are useless. Rocks are scarce. But their world is made of bone. For weeks, they have been prying loose the great, plate-like osteoderms from the hide. Dead, bony scoots that flake away. They had used them as shelters and grinding stones. Now, they become weapons, in a display of desperate, coordinated fury. The clan works as one, hunters and gatherers, men and women, heave the heavy plates to the edge. The real dinosaur battle is not between titans, but between the desperate ingenuity of humanity and the brute force of the most dangerous dinosaurs. From 100 feet up, they unleash their barrage. The first osteoderm misses, shattering on the ground. The second strikes a Giganotosaurus on its flank, making it roar in surprise more than pain. But the third, heaved by Kale himself, falls like a guillotine, catching the alpha predator square on its skull with a sickening crack. The great carnivore stumbles, shaking its head, its confident assault broken. The great father, sensing the shift, unleashes its own fury. Its tail, a continent of muscle and bone, through the air and smashes into another attacker, sending it tumbling. The hunt is over. The wounded alpha gives a guttural cry of retreat, and the pack melts back into the jungle. They stand in the quiet aftermath, their world safe but scarred. The clan looks down upon the bleeding flank of the great beast. Their protector, their vessel, their god of flesh and earth. In that moment, something profound shifts in the trajectory of human evolution. They did not merely survive. They defended. They risked their own lives not for a piece of territory, but for a living being, for the symbiotic whole that guaranteed their future. This was not the act of clever animals escaping a predator. It was the founding act of a civilization, a conscious choice to become guardians of their world. They ascended the living mountain to escape the jaws of the prehistoric world, but, in its defense, they found the very soul of their own humanity. This desperate, bloody battle was their first true pact with the earth, a promise made in blood and bone, that survival is not enough, one must also serve. And we, their distant children, still wrestle with the echoes of that promise. How much of our own world is a living creature we ride through the cosmos? And when will we realize we must fight for it? Not just upon it. In the quiet that followed the thunder, they began to tend the mountain's wounds. The sky held terrors of its own,